Welcome to Hobbit Chat. This is Benny and from Unbranded Sports Preparation. We're graced with a very cold morning here in Canberra. I'm sitting down for a bit of a mid-morning snack of bananas and coffee with one of our roller derby skaters, the extraordinary Peaches.
Hello.
How's things?
Oh, good. Yeah, feeling good after that workout now that I've shaken off some of the frost. Feeling good. It was a bit cold. Spoken like a true Canberran. Yeah, it was a bit cold. Yeah.
So I rolled up to the gym and there's ice on my windscreen, and Peachy rolls up on her motorbike and just literally looking completely frozen like a block of ice, trying to get her helmet clasp undone. And I'm like, oh, no worries, don't worry, stand back, coach has got this. And then I'm fumbling with this stupid bloody lock that won't come undone.
My hands were just a bit too cold, but we got there.
No, we didn't.
Well,
you had to come inside.
Yeah.
It took like 10 minutes.
Eventually.
It was a disaster. But nonetheless, it's still an exciting morning. So, yeah, it was a pretty good workout this morning. We did part of the strength block. That's part of the Derby Strong program, of which Peach is one of our founding members. So we did strength block today. We had deadlifts, we had presses, we had some rows, and what else did we do? Oh, sleds. We did some sled work. That was kind of cool. Sleds for warm up. Great way to start the day.
It was. Sorry, I'm just a bit. It was good fun, and you know me. I love me some deadlifts.
Yeah,
I love a good challenge.
You do. And you were working with 70 kilos come the end of that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Bit of a case of last set-itis on that last set though. It was a bit sort of. Oh.
Yeah. Can I? Yeah. Got it. I got it done. Just.
No, it was cool. No, it was good working with you and Dragon this morning. It was a lot of fun. And still, yeah. So, look, this is just a bit of a podcast. I've invited Peachy along to, literally we're just sitting in the gym with coffee. It's not real flash. We're talking into a mobile phone, and we're fairly rudimentary here with some things. But so Peach, how did you wind up getting started in Derby, and then how did that sort of progress to you finding this newfound strength? And I'm doing like a massive arm curl here.
Wow, that is quite a question. I'll try and keep it as short as I can. So I started in the founding group of the Canberra Roller Derby League in 2008. One of my teachers from art school, Bullseye Betty, who was Kate at the time, she still is, was interested, having travelled to a few different locations through her work and seen roller derby in Adelaide and in Brisbane, and was interested in bringing it to Canberra. And I had absolutely no idea what I was getting myself into, but I knew that I loved roller skating, so I wanted to get involved. And we started having no idea how to do things, but had a lot of support from a lot of different leagues. And I think that's probably why it's one of the fastest growing women's contact sport in Australia at the moment, in that there's lots of support from the community to get started with getting incorporated and getting founding documents and things like that. But the first year of skating was pretty touch and go, as far as every league teaches themselves and we all coach each other, so it can be a bit tricky in how to progress, in that everyone is trying to train themselves, and can be a bit challenging when you need that kind of feedback from other people. So I think the training that I do at Derby and the training that I do in here is very different, but I think they complement each other in a lot of ways. But I didn't start any kind of cross training until about 2013. I joined a gym and just started doing stuff to get my fitness up, because I'd never done any kind of sport ever, and so this was quite a big leap into doing competitive sport, doing a contact sport. I'd done karate when I was younger, but it's very one-on-one. It's not a team sport, and so so I started cross training, but it was mainly for fitness. There wasn't any conditioning or strength or anything like that. And then when I got injured, I did a double fracture of the tibia, fibula, full dislocation of the ankle and had a large plate in the right leg, as well as some screws in the right ankle. So completely wiped out for about 10 months. And completely had to rebuild at the start of 2014. So in April of 2014, was told by two skaters, one from Canberra Roller Derby League, one from Varsity Derby League, our sister league here in Canberra, to come in and see the infamous Benny, to come in and start doing some rehab and talk about getting back to skating. So that's how I ended up here.
Yeah. I remember that. That first time you walked in. We chatted a little bit, and you explained to me what was sort of what was broken, and there was a long list of busted stuff. And you came in, and I remember I was working with Komodo and Shagel Frock at the time, and Vina Carver before that on a one-on-one basis, because they sort of came into my performance work, and then you presented, because apparently I was okay with broken things, and
plus you have a challenge, so there's that.
Well, yeah, I love a challenge, but I remember that was a very powerful meeting. I still remember that one, because you were telling me about how it broke and what it had sort of meant to you, and it almost felt like some this newfound sport of yours had been ripped away from you by this stupid bloody ankle thing, and it was for me it was quite inspiring to sort of listen to you talk about that and say, okay, because you could see the change over the next couple of weeks. You'd become quite proactive about dealing with it. And it's like, well, no, hang on, I'm not a victim anymore. I've actually got control over this. I can do more with this. And we started exploring things, that you couldn't do before, like a squat, let alone with a barbell, let alone with weight. And then the deadlift, which, sort of turned into one of your favourite movements here. And, doing more plyometric work and more explosive work, and, actually starting to get the range and the strength and the confidence back, in terms of that injury. And that was, for me as a coach, that was really quite inspiring to sort of see happen. I really enjoyed that. That was cool. Yeah,
I think when there's an injury like that, there's a lot of swaddling that happens with, orthopedic surgeons and doctors being very conservative about what you can and can't do. Once they get you out of that, that protective boot and you're walking on your way, there's not a lot of aftercare or any recommendations of how to kind of get back to your inverted quotes normal self.
There wasn't a lot of... Because it's all reattached. What? You should be fine.
Yeah, and I think that was the thing that was affecting me mentally and emotionally the most, was that I can walk now, and I should be lucky. I should be grateful that I can walk. And I said, no, that's not good enough. I want to be where I was before. I want to be better than what I was before. And I think that was the biggest challenge in coming in here and actually not so much rebuilding, but actually becoming stronger than I ever was. And I think that's probably the thing that's made me want to stick around in the program. Yeah.
Stick around in the program. I mean, you were, yourself and, Komodo and a couple of the others were, the originals, the very first pilot intake, where I sort of came up with a crackpot idea that I thought, hang on a minute, all this stuff, it's got to be of benefit to more than one person, right? Surely. Plus, you all train in teams, and training you individually, while you can get the individual care, you still train in teams. So there's a lot of team dynamic stuff that we do right now, like, when you're in the middle of some horrible workout and you're like huffing and puffing and throwing things around and blah, 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 and I'm still talking at you, asking you stupid questions like, oh, so what's a really cool brand of wheel? And I think Fem gave me the weirdest look. She was in the middle, she had this ball above her head and she was doing ball slams. And I said to her, okay, favourite thing about Derby. And she just looked at me like, what the F are you talking about? I'm in the middle, I can't even breathe. And then I explained what it was that I'm doing. I said, I need you to think and move and interact with your team all at the same time. So we are specifically training that component in this workout, right? It's not just a strength workout. We're compounding all of these things together. And and it's just like, oh, okay. And then got back to throwing the ball. Didn't tell me your favourite thing about it.
I think some people definitely struggle with that. In roller derby, yes, as you said, it's a team sport, and communication is a huge part of that. And it comes to that point where there's something that you need to say or communicate with your teammate, and you just end up saying words and none of it makes sense. So I think that's definitely a good challenge to get people to think while they're working out.
So you don't wind up calling out, you do the thing to that one, no, the other one, no, the other side.
I'm really interested, but I came into the program as it was becoming a group program, but how did you first find out about roller derby, and how has that kind of changed the way that you coach?
Oh, so one of my Drongo mates had decided, hey, we should go and see the derby. And I was like, awesome, the hell is that? And he goes, no, you should totally come, don't worry, there's beer. Oh, okay, cool, I'll go. And so I went. And I've been absolutely hooked ever since. It's such a great sport. And it's such a great sport. Like, I never thought that you could have an impact sport that was as showy and exciting, right, in one spot, right? It all occurs right in front of you. And you can get all up and gritty and dirty and bloody all amongst it, right, and sit in the
suicide seating. So it's right next to the referee. Sometimes there's a couple of skaters who get spilled off the track and land in your lap, and it's treated like a real honour. It is. I now sit in the seats where it's safe.
Where it's safe, and I'm not going to get a skate in the face. Yeah. But it's a really exciting sport, and now and I sort of came apart from that, and I thought, okay, well, because I was working with a couple of skaters at the time, and I thought, okay, well, look, there's actually more to this sport when you unpick it from an athletic point of view, right? So you've got all the team dynamics and the team psychology, all that applies. Then you've also got the personal psychology and the personal dynamics about how people interact with each other and all that sort of thing. Then there's the athletic component that you have to wrap around the outside of this, okay? So it's effectively not that dissimilar to any, professional impact sport, right? So like American football or rugby. We need people to be able to hit like a freight train. They need to be able to sprint like Carl Lewis. They need to be as agile as a cat on wheels, literally. And then you need to put a whole bunch of them together and have them scurry around this track, right? And there's like 3,000 different rules, which I still can't get my head around. But I know how
the basics. Yeah,
I know the basics. I know that one there is trying to get away from that one there, and those 5 over there are going to try and stop that one. And then there's a guy in a stripy shirt rolls around in the middle, and he does the pointing with the thing.
That's right.
And so when I look at that, and I sort of unpicked it, and I thought, okay, so you know what, I can actually design for this. And so it really interested me from a coach's perspective, right? Because I'm an S&C coach, a strength and conditioning coach, and so that means I'm actually sport agnostic. Despite being personally a weightlifter, any sport is relevant, right, to what I can do. And I guess probably the easiest way to describe what it is that I am is I'm the mechanic in a race team. I can't drive the car for nuts, but can make it go faster, or can make it brake harder, can make it turn faster or turn less, can make it more aerodynamic, can make it less so. Whatever it is that the driver needs, then that's what I can do. And the athlete is in effect the car, and the driver is the coach. But in the case of Derby, as you say, athletes coach themselves. So the athletes tell me what they need. All right, well, I'm a blocker. Okay, what sort of a blocker are you? Oh, well, I'm this type, or I'm that type, or I like to block this way, or I've seen them on the track. I go, okay, well, that's your natural predisposition. I say, all right, let's reinforce those. I saw you got belted to death over insert scenario here, so we can adjust the way that you're training to improve that, so you don't get belted to death again. And so, yeah, to me, that was just fascinating, right? And then I felt a little bit, as I got a bit further into Derby, I felt, oh, geez, because I sort of asked around a lot of the skaters, and I said, so where do you do your S&C work? And after the what the hell is S&C question, I got the, at insert 24-hour gym here.
Yeah, so at the time, strength and conditioning meant, I'm going to hop on an elliptical or for half an hour and get all huffy and puffy, but then I get knocked down 8 times in a row in a jam and get that choking thing that you get when you feel like you want to die.
Activity-induced asthma.
Yeah.
Metcon lung.
Metcon lung. and you're saying, I'm going to the gym, I'm doing all this.